beautiful pozole rojo. Good soup, day one. Now for good soup day one, I wanted to do one of my favorite soups, pozole rojo. Well, technically my favorite soup is menudo, but I don't think you guys would be into that. So I'm gonna start off with pozole rojo. I'm gonna show you a foolproof one pot method on how to make this soup. Let's jump right into it. Here is most of what you'll be using for the pozole. I've got a can of hominy. You can go ahead and use the canned stuff or you can use the fresh stuff. All these spices that you see here, garlic, onion. Most important part is the chile guajillo. I'm also adding some chile ancho to this. Now it doesn't matter how you cut your onion because we're just gonna blend it all. So just chop it up. Okay, yellow onion, garlic clove, and then for the chiles, all we gotta do is remove these stems. And then from there, we'll remove these seeds as well. Now you probably don't want to touch your eyes after doing this. I would recommend using some gloves or something like that. But yeah, we just want to take these seeds out because it's gonna be bitter if we leave the seeds in. So this is why we have to remove all these seeds. So yeah, the chile guajillo is actually a dried Anaheim pepper. And this chile ancho, it's just a dried chile poblano pepper. That's the difference. This chile ancho is a little more sweeter than the spicier guajillo. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I need to reconstitute the chiles, which just means take them from dry to soft and malleable. So to do that, I'm just gonna toast them off in some oil. But also, I'm just gonna do my onions and garlic at the same time as well. So basically, I just wanna toast everything off before I blend it, so I can build those flavors. I'm not just gonna throw them in raw. I don't wanna throw in raw onions or raw garlic. I wanna have a nice toasted garlic. I wanna reconstitute my peppers in the same oil as my garlic. Add more layers of flavor to this. And then to this, I'm gonna add all those spices that I showed you earlier. As always, it's gonna be in the description down below. I'm just gonna toss them in, give them a little toasty toast. I'll probably just save the bay leaf for later because I don't want the bay leaf to get blended in. Now, once I've got some good color on everything, the chiles are starting to feel nice and reconstituted, I'm gonna add in chicken stock. You could do beef stock, chicken stock, vegetable stock, water, whatever. Toss it in. And then I'm just gonna cover this guy, bring that stock up to a simmer, let it sit for around 5 minutes. Then I'll toss it into a blender. Okay, now removing this lid, it looks really nice. I'm gonna pull my phone out. Okay, now I just remove all of this from the heat, and then I'm gonna toss it into a blender. Now this is gonna be like the most important part of the pozole. This is gonna be our baseline of the pozole, so just gotta make sure it's done right and blended thoroughly. Now I'm gonna use the same pan for the pork. So the pork I'm using, I'm just gonna be using pork butt. You can get a whole pork butt and just do it like that, or you can just buy this pre-sliced piece so you don't have to do a big old pork butt that's like 15, 20 pounds. Now, what I like to do is I like to get a sear on my meat. If I get a sear on it, it's gonna, like I said, build more flavor. It's gonna be a little more complex rather than just throwing it in raw and having no nice color on it. So what I wanna do is I wanna get some nice color on this pork. I haven't even seasoned the pork or anything. I'm just gonna toss it in with some oil. All right, once we got some color on one side, we just give her a little flip. Once that pork is all seared off, I'm ready to pretty much go. So I'm going to give my stuff a blend here. I might add a little more stock to this and blend it thoroughly. Okay, now check this out. I should be left with this beautiful looking dark red paste. Now from here, I'm gonna toss it into my pot of choice. But first, look, check this out. I'm gonna get some stock on the lid of that. I just wanna get all of it as much as possible. And toss that into my pot of choice. See how there's still some stuff left in there? I'm just gonna toss the stock I was gonna use to cook it. Kind of swish it all around. Get in there with a rubber spatula. And then pour that in. You could do this with chicken or beef as well. I like pork. Pork is delicious. Pork is good. Pork is life. So anyways, I've got all that in the pot. Gonna toss in a bay leaf now. That goes in there. Might even season it with a little more salt. And now for the hominy. So, if you can find this stuff like this, go ahead. I'd say the can is the easiest way. Of course, raw would probably taste a little better. Okay, so this stuff, what you wanna do is take it out of the can and give it a rinse. You don't wanna just take it straight from the can and toss it into whatever it is you're cooking. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it. Okay, so once my hominy is rinsed, I just toss that in. As you can tell, this is a very simple, just like one pot pickup. Now, as you can tell also, this is not a normal pot. I'm putting this in an instant pot. I just think it's so much easier to put it in a pressure cooker. It takes like 30 minutes. If you want to do it the old school way, you can just put it into a pot and let it go for around 2 to 3 hours. Well, if you're putting the pork in whole like this, it might take around 4 hours. Now, mind you, I've done that plenty of times. I've made pozole for family meal at work hundreds of times, and I've always done it in a pot. Pressure cooker is such a fast way. If you're in a pinch, use this, 30 minutes, perfect. Now, I'm just gonna plug this guy in. So now I'm just gonna pressure this guy on high for around 45 minutes. So now pretty much all there is to do is just chill out and wait until it's done, and you should have your soup, and I'll show you the garnishes that I'll use. But also, I love pozole. I grew up on menudo though. That's the recipe I would love to show you guys. I'm just not sure if there's too much of an interest. So if you guys want to see me make menudo, let me know in the comments down below. I'm just not sure if people are too down with eating tripe. I love it. I grew up on this stuff. It's so good. So let me know. Comment down below, and I'd love to show you guys how to make menudo. Okay, honestly, I just finished walking through the park while this stuff was cooking. So it just goes to show that it's very foolproof. Just put it in the pot, let it go. Now, once this is done, we can serve it. But I want to show you what garnishes you can use, what's typical. I don't quite have the other typical garnish you'll see. Pressure. God, that smells so good. One of the beauties of cooking this in a pressure cooker is that basically there's no waste in my liquid, so I have a lot of liquid left, as you can see. Now, just checking if my pork is tender. Yeah, that pork is definitely fork tender. Beautiful, look at that. Gorgeous looking pozole. Give it a little tasty taste. Now I might do a little salt in there. This is the perfect cure if you have a hangover, by the way. It's just the best. Okay. For my beautiful garnishes. Cilantro. Some radish. Avocado. Sour cream. Typically cabbage, but I don't have the cabbage today, so that's fine. Do a little slicey slice on my radishes. Nice thin slices for a beautiful garnish. A little avocado. Do some big chunks of that. Also, you probably don't want to do what I'm doing right now, which is cutting the avo in my hand. It could be very dangerous. Don't want to cut yourself. I actually saw someone at work cut themselves like that, and it did not look fun. All right, guys, let me know. Which bowl should I do? Should I do this bowl or this bowl? Comment down below. I'm kind of going towards this one right here. It's very pretty, but this one's like really classic looking. We could do both, why not? And there is our beautiful pozole rojo. Some of our radish, a little cilantro, gotta do some sour cream on there, and some of our avo. Beautiful pozole rojo. And we just mix that all up. Looks super delicious. And that's all there is to it. Of course, I forgot the lime, but it's good without it anyway. Let me know what you want to see for the next good soup, day 2.